Hello, everybody. Hi. So, this is the Boss Moves Media Show. A very warm welcome. It's another beautiful Friday evening, 6 p.m. Central African time. And this is the time where you and I get together. We get to speak to someone incredible in the media industry, and they tell us all about where they are, what they do, how we can get great at doing this, right? Using all of the tools that they use and everything in between. Today is no different. We have a special guest who's joining us. He is the music compiler for Africa's biggest commercial station, Metro FM. His name is Lesiba. What I absolutely love about today's show is that I've been inundated with requests from people from all around the world asking, how do I get my music played on the radio? How do I get my music on South African radio stations? How do I make sure that I create music that is, worth putting on these platforms? And well, today I am here to answer all of these questions. My name is Nala. This is the Boss Moves Media Show, episode 11. I am excited to be here with you, and we're just going to welcome our guest in just a bit. So hang tight in there, and let's get through to Lesiba in just a bit. Don't go anywhere. All right, so while we wait for Lesiba to join us here on the Boss Moves Media Show, episode 11, talking about music compiling. If you are in the music industry and you want to get your music played on the radio, it's very important that you know exactly what is required of you, right? So not all songs are made the same, and not all stations cater for the same kind of musicians. So as a musician, you need to kind of read the room, okay? You need to know why you are sending through your music to a particular station, what your intentions are for your song. And by that, I mean, on what show do you want your song to be played? What time of the day can your song be played? And so many other questions that you need to answer as a musician. And hopefully we can get Lesiba on the line this evening so that he can connect with us and we can just, break it down, because this is so important for me. I just told you that not only do I get inundated with calls, but I really love developing people and the value chain of the media industry. And for me, as a radio broadcaster on the biggest breakfast show in South Africa, The Takeoff with Mongani and Nala on Radio 2000, I know that musicians really need this information, because there are musicians that are far and wide. And because this show is going to be also available on a podcast platform, these musicians can then get this information, right? And if you are in a remote area, in the rural areas, wherever you are and wherever you may be, it's very important for you to get this information so that you know that when you make music, you're conscious of where you want your music to go. Because then what's the point of making music if it's not going to be played on the radio, at least, I mean, even though now people may argue and say, music on the radio is really, it's not that important because there are other platforms, streaming platforms, you name it. The radio still remains the one biggest form of content, and it's the one medium that reaches out to the majority of people in the world, because radio is so easily accessible, right? You don't need to be from a particular demographic to have access to the radio. So hopefully we can get a hold of our guest this evening and jam it out and hear what he has to say, especially where music is concerned. This is the Boss Moves Media Show. My name is Nala, and I am so glad to have you here. So make sure that you send through all of your questions. I've got all of your questions here. They're coming in. So thank you so much for sending them through. And hopefully we can get Lesiba on. I think he's connecting. Yay! Let's see. Let's let him connect quickly. See if we can get on. And like I said, Lesiba is an incredible guy. I mean, he has his career spanning years and years in the music industry, but not just that, in the broadcasting industry, you know, especially where music and broadcasting is concerned. I mean, he's been a music compiler for YFM, he's been a music compiler for 5FM, he's been a music compiler for Metro FM. So you already know that those are the three major commercial stations in South Africa. That is big. And this is the guy who you need to know if you want to get your music played as a musician. And as a musician, it's also very important for you to make music that is appealing to radio stations and that is suitable for particular radio stations. Because I can tell you now, as a radio broadcaster for an adult contemporary station like Radio 2000, the music that we play is nostalgic. So you can't send me a new song. And these are the conversations that I keep having with people who send me emails and you know, slide into my DMs wanting to know how they can get their music played on the breakfast show. I really can't get your music played on the breakfast show, because if you think of the format of the radio station that I work at, Radio 2000, we play nostalgic music. So you had to have had your music playing on the radio for years and years to get your music played on Radio 2000. And that's very important. And that is information that a lot of people actually overlook. So make sure that as a musician, you know exactly which radio station you want your music to play on, first of all, and also which show. And that is very important too. Hopefully I can get Ules. I see he is definitely connected, but I cannot see him. Les, if you can hear me, and if you can see me, please will you switch on your camera and switch on your microphone so that we can see you too. All right, we'll just see if he can connect anytime soon. But in the meantime, I'll just go through a couple of things that I kind of jotted down because I thought anything is possible. First of all, this is a digital platform, okay? We might and we might not connect. And if, you know, God forbid we don't, because I really want to chat to Liz. Then I've got just a few things that I've jotted down just to kind of help you along the way. I know we've got a lot of musicians that have joined in the live today just to get the, you know, breakdown of what is required of them as musicians to get their music playlisted on the radio. So on the radio, there's something that is called the filtering system. I'm going to keep looking to see if Lesiba is around and to see if we can connect with him. So the filtering system, right? The filtering system on the radio for you musicians who want to get your music playlisted on the radio is a simple system. And the first part of it has to do with you. So you have to submit your song. That's very important. And I mean, even before that, even before you start submitting your song, you need to make sure that your song is properly registered. And this is something that a lot of up-and-coming musicians overlook. You can't just create a song, especially, you know, now that we've got the Mapianos going on. You can't just create a song and not have it properly registered. I see our guest is here. Let's see if we can connect. Your camera on. All right. Okay, so With the filtering system, like I said, the first bit and the first most important part of it is you actually getting your song onto the radio station. And how do you do that? You send an email, you submit your song to that radio station, and every single radio station has a music compiler. So no, you don't have to know people by name. No, you don't have to be their friend, and you definitely don't have to sleep with them. Definitely not. Nor do you have to pay them any money to get your music played on the radio. Let us just dispel those. And I'm not going to even say myths, because in the past, those have been realities. But now it's a criminal offense to do that. So you don't want to be caught up in that, right? You don't need to befriend anyone. You do not need to pay anybody money to get your music played on the radio. First step, submit your song to that radio station. Second step, what happens then, and hopefully when we get Lesiba on, he will explain this further, because he is the head of that department and has been for years, on major radio stations. The second part is the music committee. So music committee is made up of a group of guys and gals who come together and they listen to the songs that you have submitted every week, or every 2 weeks. So every week or every 2 weeks, your songs will be listened to when you submit these songs on the radio. And how do you get a hold of, the music compilers so you can get their email addresses? Call the radio station, darling. It's 2021. It's the information age. Just go to Google the station that you want your song to play at, because you know already that that is the sound of that station. And hopefully Lesiba can explain that a little more as well. Then once you know where you want your song to be, Google that station, find the number, call reception, ask who is the compiler, who is the music compiler for the station. And this applies not just for radio stations in South Africa and Africa, but around the world. Think big when it comes to your music, because your music could easily be playlisted anywhere in the world. So find out who the music compiler is. And then once you've done that, you get the email address, right? And you send them an email with your song, send them a link of your song. That's always better than sending them a file. Well, I don't know. I'm thinking that for me, that would make absolute sense, because I do not want to download your music. I just want to hear it. So if you have an account on SoundCloud, send them your SoundCloud link. If you have an account on whichever other platform, send them your link. Make sure that they listen to your link, they listen to your song. And if your song is a song that they deem is the sound of the station, then it'll go to the music committee, and the music committee will sit down, listen to these songs, and trust me, because I've been in one of the music committee meetings, when we listen to a song, literally in the first 30 seconds, we know whether the song will make it on the radio or not. So you must be very aware of that and keep that in mind. So that's the second step, music compiler. And then the third step, your music gets compiled and you get to know all about that. I think we have officially lost our guest for tonight, and it's a pity. It's a great pity. We've gone 20 minutes now without our guest. I've given you a little bit of information though. Hopefully you can use that. Let me see if I can still try and get a hold of the guest. Let's see. All right. So hang 10. we're back, and you know what? I do not know if we will actually get a hold of our guest tonight, but I have just spoken to him. He is traveling, so he's having a little bit of trouble just trying to connect with us. But on the other hand, I will make sure that you and I have this chat with Lesiba again very soon, because it's a very important conversation that we have to have on a platform like this, especially for the South African context. There's a lot out there on how to get your music played on other platforms in other places by people who are not really experts of the game. And that's why I wanted to bring Lesiba on, so that he can give us, just the right information on what we need to know. So this recording will probably be saved, because it is essentially episode 11 and you don't want to lose that, even though it was just me on the show and I was rocking it out with you, and I'm so grateful to have you here. So make sure that you try and you come back again with us. We will be live soon, and we'll try and get a hold of Lesiba, and we'll see which Friday we can get a hold of him on. So this is the Boss Moves Media Show. Every single Friday evening, 6 p.m., I take time out to just give you incredible information on what's happening in the media industry around the world. I mean, media is shifting and it's changing in all shapes and forms, and it's time for you to actually get in the know. And not just that, but be a leader. You need to lead this industry, and you lead the industry by knowledge. So get that knowledge. That knowledge is your weapon. It's your power. And it actually takes me to just think about where we are right now. And if you look at platforms like Clubhouse, I mean, if you do not have Clubhouse and you're not on Clubhouse, you're really missing out on some critical information that could help you shift and change your game, whichever industry you're in. You get to learn about best practice, what's happening out there around the world, what people are doing, and people are sharing real-time content, of what they are doing to build their businesses online. And that kind of information is invaluable. And that's the kind of information you need to just keep consuming, instead of just scrolling on social media helplessly, endlessly. Just invest in yourself, do things that are going to take you to the next level, because the next level is where you and I are going to meet up. So make sure you become a leader in the digital space. Also make sure that you lead the digital media space with knowledge that is indigenous. So you must know what your area and what your area of coverage requires to move to the next level. And you do that by just consume all the right content. So if there's a free seminar and a free webinar and a free live, make sure you're there. It's free. It's just for you. So rather use your data bundles and your Wi-Fi to develop yourself. Self-development first. Okay. So my name is Nonala Dose, and you can find me at Nonala Dose on all social media platforms. I also am available, Boss Moves Media. This is a digital media development organization. We've been running since 2013, and our aim has just always been to really flip the envelope when it comes to digital media migration. South Africa needs to get to a level where we surpass all of these, international media companies. And we can do this. We really can. And what we do is we start with what we have, and we see how we can transform it into something that can make us globally competitive. So we will be back again next week, Friday, 6 p.m. for the Boss Moves Media Show. And I'll probably be broadcasting this one in the Eastern Cape. So cannot wait. And thank you so much for always tuning in. It's always a pleasure. I will be with you again next week, 6 p.m. here on the Boss Moves Media Show. I do not think our guest is connected with us. No, I don't think it's happening at all. So thank you, and have yourself a wonderful weekend. Stay safe, wash your hands, wear your mask, and I can't say anything else because, you know what I mean? I don't even know if I'm going to get vaccinated. But hey, stay safe, okay? And keep your eyes on the prize. And the prize is you being globally competitive. That's what it's all about. The virtual world is our playground. So let's use it wisely. My name is Nonala. Bye.